This video was brought to you by Markus Bil, Elbilmek, ABRP Planner, Stormberg, Kempower and Bilkomponenter. Yo, what's up? We are now sitting in the BYD Seal Performance or overdrive, whatever it's called. But yeah, I'm gonna do a driving impression. This time at night, it's 1:30 at night, so Isabel is home asleep. So unfortunately, yeah, she's not with me. She could have been here, of course, because we have Isofix mounting points in the front seat. That is very nice. So yeah. This car, how is it? Well, let's start with some of the basics. My actual test range might not be the best because turns out this car is a bit thirsty for what it is. You know, it's a sedan, so it should be slick. Well, it is aerodynamic, so at least when I did the 1,000 kilometer challenge, didn't feel like headwind or tailwind or high speed, low speed matter too much. Of course it affects the consumption, but because the aerodynamic, I mean, because the drag coefficient is low, 0.219, then at least it's somewhat consistent. But it seems like maybe the drivetrain or something, I don't know what else is it in here, motor or yeah, whatever, might not be that efficient. So that's why the base consumption is a bit higher. So even though we have I measured 80.8 kilowatt hour net capacity. According to spec, it's supposed to be 82.5. There might be some losses here. 80 something kilowatt hour is okay size battery, but because the car is semi-thirsty, then the range is not the best in class, but still okay. We're talking about around 400 kilometers of range. Let's say 300 to 400 kilometers of range, then, depending on if it's mixed driving or pure motorway speeds. So yeah, and then what else? Noise levels quite good also, actually very good, right on top there, just right below some of the German cars like BMW and Audi and Mercedes. So really good. When it comes to handling, also fairly good. I will see if I can trigger some of the weird stuff going on, but It is comfortable, and the moment I sat in here, I was like, oh, nice seats, some okay side support, and nice handling and good comfort over these bumps here in the road construction. It was just floats over the bumps. It is a bit bouncy-ish. Maybe you can see it also, but I mean, it's not that bad. The bounciness, it's not as bad as I-Pace or BYD Han. Those cars, the tension is like bounce, 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 bounce. You know, like triple bounce. Here it seems to settle faster after like that. I don't know. I mean, it's nicely done. It's nothing I want to complain about. So it's nicely done, but maybe not as sporty as you might want it. Oh wait, maybe it's a bit dark in here. Maybe I should turn on some lights here. Yeah, I usually have that one on so you can see something. Actually, or maybe if I turn it off, you know, maybe I'll just keep it off. Yeah, because it's so bright outside anyway. But if it would be pitch dark outside, then you wouldn't be able to see much. But it's so bright now at night in Norway nowadays. So it's like you are backseat drivers now, backseat core drivers. Yeah, but overall, a really impressive car. But this is not a cheap BYD, unlike the Dolphin I tried. You know, Dolphin was noisy, it wasn't that great to drive. Here we have all-wheel drive, we have lots of power. It is quite quick, actually, right on par with the BMW i4 M50. Yeah, and Porsche Taycan 4S. I measured around 3.8 seconds 0 to 100, which is also a spec. So very impressive. I'm gonna try to now drive in the twisty part where I actually do the headlight test. It turns out to be a nice place to also test some handling. Just hope we don't run into any deer, otherwise it's gonna be rådyrt. But yeah, what else is it you want to know? Okay, the car is a bit heavy, 2,300 something kilograms. That is roughly 400 kilograms more than a Tesla Model 3 long range or performance. So yeah, but the BYD, they managed to kind of masquerade the weight, so it doesn't feel that heavy. Yeah, I didn't know it was that heavy until I put it on the scale. I was like, whoa, really? So, but we can see now soon when we toss it around the corner, maybe we'll feel the heaviness, because I actually took this stretch today, it was in daytime, with the Model 3 Performance Highland, and it went around the corners like a go-kart, and I could feel the lightness and the nimbleness and the tightness in the suspension. It has adaptive suspension, the Model 3. So it was incredible. Here, okay, we'll see. I feel like this is, I mean, even though it is a performance car, I feel like it might be more tuned towards GT, you know, like Grand Tourer, or more like a nice cruiser, comfortable. Because I experienced a couple of times, well, actually several times, many times, yeah, I forgot. Many times it happened during 1,000 kilometer challenge on the motorway, that when I went on these bridge gaps over, if there's a bump, like a long bump, it feels like, even though it might not happen, it feels like the car jumps. And then when they have that little jump-ish, whatever, something weird happens with the drivetrain. I get a little jolt forward, as if the wheels are spinning in free air, and then it lands, and then, but yeah, it was a weird feeling. It's just a feeling that I lose touch. I mean, I lose grip, or I lose connection with the ground, you know. So I'll see if I can provoke it over here. So now we have a nice twisty road. Just have to watch out for animals. And you see that, yeah, I can feel it now. I can feel the heaviness, yeah, versus the Highland, which is a lot lighter. But I can also feel the slight softness here versus Highland, or versus Model 3, I mean, the Model 3 Performance. That the Model 3 has been tuned to be stiffer, and you can feel it over some of the bumps. I mean, it's not uncomfortable, but you feel it more in the Model 3 Performance versus here. Here they soften it up a bit, which means that it's good for comfort, good for normal day-to-day driving, but for track driving, I would take the Model 3 Performance any day. But I mean, it's still quite decent. There's a little bit of body roll, but not that much. Still a very nice car to drive around in twisty roads like this. So let's see now. Yeah. Okay, there's a little jump here soon. A patch of new asphalt. I will see what happens if I go fast over it with a Seal now. But overall, really impressive how it handles, and it's like it feels like I'm here. Wait, focus here too. Okay, no, okay. See, that was just a short thing, so it didn't make it jump. But on the motorway, it happened many times. But okay, anyway, back to the point. Like, if I was driving this car blindfolded, lol, I could almost not tell if I was driving a Chinese car or a German electro auto, right? They have tuned it to be nice and comfy. Like, I feel like I'm driving like a Model 3 Highland, you know, or a BMW i4, or yeah, maybe a Mercedes EQE or something, right? So it has just this nice comfort, and also the combination of that nice handling and comfort in the suspension, and the good soundproofing, and also okay, now I have to open turn on the light. Also, the steering wheel is comfortable to feel grip. It has this softness. We have these handles here, love handles here, and actually I've been spending a lot of time in the Seal, and then today I jumped over into Model 3 Performance, and I was disappointed in the steering wheel in the Performance. It was not any performance wheel, it was just the same steering wheel as the long range or all the other Model 3 and Model Y. It was kind of basic and didn't feel that great to grip, because I was used to Seal. So this is good shit, man. The steering wheel here, nice to grip. And so there are a lot of nice things to say about Seal. Interior also great. Let's turn on some more lights here. We actually have 2 charging pads here in the front. They kind of copy Tesla, but eventually someone needs to do it, and I'm happy that BYD copied Tesla, because this is brilliant design. You can have it here, you can see the phone, you can put your phone on this side also, you know, the passenger can put the phone here. Very nice. And also overall we have this bridge design, I call it bridge design. You have nice space under here, so big screen also. Yeah, at least the screen is big. When it comes to user interface, it kind of sucks, because you have menus and messy menus and bad translation. What was that? Is that a cat? Yeah. Kind of messy. Okay, let me just show you something here. Okay. If I go to energy, at least they don't call it new energy anymore. Here, ITAC, Intelligent Torque Adaptation Control. There's one. We have a menu on the side here. Let me see if we could do that. And then you have another menu here, right? Tabs or whatever you call it. But this ITAC tab has only one setting, and then there's a picture of a car here. It's not even the same color as this car. Why? In the Energy Manager, you have 2 more settings here, and there's a little bit of animation. Okay, fair enough. There's some stuff going on here. In charging settings, you have a little bit more here, and then the picture of the car. But I'll show you something. If I use a turn signal now, turn left, it doesn't animate. It's just a dead picture. Not even the correct picture of the car, and the same color. What is the point of this? Because if you go here to consumption, there is some consumption numbers, and then there. And then consumption, okay, fine. I know you want to categorize in different categories. Yeah, fair enough. But you have consumption here, but you have something called consumption curve, which is just the curve that you could have put here instead of that useless picture of the car. You know what I mean? So it just goes like this. The navigation is okay-ish. Let me use the auto steer. Okay. So the menu is kind of messy to navigate through, to find settings or to find stuff you want to change. So not the best user interface, but it's still nice that you have a big screen and they at least try to utilize some of it, even though I think they're wasting precious screen space. Like here, what is the point of this, right? And then you have to have a scroll. Okay, whatever. I'll stop bitching about it. Just same here, you know. Audio, you have settings here and you have to scroll down to find more settings. Why don't you just put it side by side? This picture doesn't do anything, so then you can just remove it. Yeah, the Chinese guys, they need to read Jacob Nielsen's book about usability, or some other book. There are plenty of books about that. My claim is that it could have been better, but I mean, it's not the worst I've seen anyway, so it's like in the middle. AutoSteer is actually doing a pretty good job of not slowing down in a curve like a typical Chinese car. Let me turn down the lights there again. Maybe I can turn on this for now. However, I've been using it a lot, and it will randomly just disengage, typically in a curve, without giving me any audible warning that it disengaged. You know, I could, for example, be bending over to pick up my potato, and then suddenly it was just disengaged and tried to kill me because it sees the opportunity to kill me, right? But if I'm paying attention, then no problem. But it's not because I'm not holding the steering wheel, because I will always have my meat on the steering wheel, but it would just randomly do that shit, man. So yeah, but at least kudos that it goes fairly even, or I mean smooth. It drives fairly smooth. The other BYDs in the past, they would do this annoying accelerate, decelerate, accelerate, decelerate, like a typical Asian taxi driver, actually typical Asian driver. This car will still do it at some extent, but it's not that bad. And also now when we are going on these curves on the motorway, you see that it goes fairly fast. It doesn't slow down like a Toyota driver, so that's also good. Wait, shit, there's Baustelle here. Achtung, Achtung. But here I just use regen, and the regen is a bit weak. It can regen now 33 kilowatt. Okay, we are 97%, yeah, true. But I feel like overall the regen is a bit weak, but you can press the brake pedal to activate more regen. So, and the regen has even been set to high, so not the low setting. But okay, at least it doesn't have that, not sure what to say, it, you know, the Seal U, it's like a, well, I mean, they have the same name, but that's pretty much where the similarity ends, because the Seal U and the Seal is not the same as, for example, Model 3 and Model Y. Model 3 and Model Y, they share a lot of hardware. Like, I think I heard it was 60-70% of the hardware is shared. Seal and Seal U is almost completely different. Seal, this car is either rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, whereas Seal U is front-wheel drive. Yeah, and it's like a SUV version of Seal, right? But okay, they don't even have the same type of battery. Seal U has slightly bigger battery, but what was my point again? Yeah, Seal U, since it's front-wheel drive, it has this annoying dip of the nose. So when you accelerate, let me try here. Yeah, you see, okay, usually when you accelerate, the nose goes up a bit. That's because of physics. And then when you decelerate or slow down, here it doesn't do much. First of all, because it's sedan, not SUV, but the Seal U would then, when you regen, it will then dip more forward because it's regenning or braking basically on the front wheel. But here it's regenning more on the back also, so you get that more even. Yeah, so I like it better, the way the car rides, so you don't get seasick with it all up and down with the nose all the time, right? So that part is great. But let me see, let me just focus here a little bit. Achtung, Achtung, Baustelle. And it's also quick. Right, let me see, let me switch over to mode. Okay, we have a mode button here. Sport. Okay. It is quick. it has this little delay, but once the power comes, there's a nice surge of power, a nice jolt. Oh yeah. Okay, let me see. You see, now I'm just slow poking a bit. Okay, langsam. Okay, and then if I floor it, oh, it just pushes you towards the seat, and you get this nice acceleration. So let me see, how many kilowatt did I get? Let me check here. Battery should be in okay temperature. I think I saw it in car scanner before I disconnected that it was around 20 degrees Celsius. Let me see. Okay, let me just floor it now again. 390 kilowatt, 360 kilowatt. So it can actually maintain 360 plus kilowatt fairly flat. It doesn't just spike and then drop, you know? So, I mean, very nice really, the power output. But it means that you actually get a quick car, and when it comes to other features, if we still talk about Model 3, what is better here versus Model 3? We have header display. Model 3 doesn't have it. We have 360 camera. You can even turn on the 360 camera now. Wait, where's it? How's this? Here. GTA style. Oh yeah, look at this. But then it gets it gets bright because freaking Chinese people, they want bright screens at night, man. No, it's something to do with that when you have the backup camera, you want to have it bright, otherwise you look dim and you have a hard time trying to see stuff at night. So they default at high brightness. You actually have an instrument cluster. Model 3 doesn't have it. You have blinker stalks. Oh yeah, Model 3 doesn't have it, at least not Highland. So there are actually lots of good stuff about this car. You know, I wouldn't say don't buy it. I personally might want to buy a Model 3 instead, because there are certain things I don't like about this car. Okay, maybe I should talk about it then, which is the overheating problem. So we have seen before that Auto 3 overheats, and actually I'm pretty sure that also Tang and Han overheats, even though back then I didn't have car scanner working, but there was some weird slowdown that I couldn't explain, and that was probably overheating. It seems like the BYD Blade batteries, they have a weakness, which is that they have somewhat poor cooling and actually quite high delta between the coolest cell and the highest cell. During 1,000 kilometer challenge, once this car overheats, the battery, the hottest cells were at 52 degrees Celsius, actually peaking at 53 degrees. The coolest cells were sitting at around 25 degrees Celsius. That's quite big gap between the coolest and the hottest cells, which could mean that you get uneven degradation, which is probably not desirable in the battery pack. But however, this is LFP battery. It might not be affected by heat that much versus NMC or NCA or the other chemistries. But there is a butt crack, which is the overheating problem. I'm not sure how good the cooling is. For all we know, maybe the cooling power is already at 5 or 6 kilowatts, right? At least effectively, right? From the heat pump. Oh, there. Over that bridge cap. It was like a little bounce thing, you know? Yeah. I kept, over bridge caps, I kept feeling that, but that one wasn't that bad. I have to drive faster to experience the whole jolting, like, okay, whatever. But back to the point, what was it again? Oh, now I just focus on the bridge caps. Man, sorry, I just lost focus now. Let me just try to figure out what I was trying to say. And maybe I should go out of sport mode. Eco mode, no, normal. Sorry, man. I don't have a script, and I tend to lose focus. So let's just keep driving, and then okay. Should we talk about? Okay, I was talking about the overheating problem. So yeah, in 1,000 kilometer challenge, the battery will overheat. LFP, I mean the Blade battery seems like it wants cool battery, so you could probably arrive with around 15 degrees Celsius and get maximum speed. Yeah, okay, let's see. Oh yeah, I can even get full power now in normal mode. It's just that it changes some of the throttle response in sport mode. So that's good. I like it like that, because some cars like NIO, for example, and some of the other Chinese cars, even Tesla, you have to be in this like a sport or sport boost or whatever to get the maximum power. I'm not a fan of that, because I want, when I floor it, I want to have all the power available in any mode, pretty much. Even in eco mode, I want to have it. Well, let's test here. If I go to eco mode. Okay, let me see. 260 kilowatt. Okay, in eco mode we are limited to only 260 kilowatt. But even 260 kilowatt is plenty of power to humiliate any fossil car on the road. Yeah, but okay, so overheating problem. What is the problem? Well, it overheats eventually, even though the cooling is running while we are charging, it will eventually overheat. And the way it works is that on your first session, okay, even if you hammer it, right, the battery doesn't heat up that much. I saw it in Car Scanner, which is great. It slowly heats up as you discharge the battery, but once you plug in and you have around 25, 30, roughly 30 degrees Celsius in the battery, it will it will heat up as you charge, and then it will hit 52 degrees Celsius and rapid gate. But by then you have then received nice and flat 150 kilowatt until around 45%, which is quite good, actually very good. Oh, what is that? There's animals, shit, animals by the road. Achtung, Achtung, Achtung. I just warned the mother trucker behind me. I think if the truck I pass, if he's a skilled driver, he will notice that I slow down, and he will also slow down. You know, like Achtung Polizei, or you know, danger, or yeah. But yeah, so that's what happened in the first charging session. You hit 50 degrees Celsius, but it's like saved by the bell, because then you are high enough anyway, so it will start throttling naturally. But then after you finish charging and you start driving again, the battery will cool down, but it cools down from 50-ish degrees Celsius to only around 40 degrees Celsius, and then the cooling kind of stops. Yeah, and then if you hammer it hard enough, the battery temperature will actually go up a little bit, so you plug in with 44, 45 degrees Celsius, and then you don't get the 150 kilowatt flat until 44% anymore. You will then throttle or overheat already around 20-25%. Yeah, and this just keeps going on and on and on as you drive on your trip. One solution is to charge past 60-70%, go to, let's say, 80%, because then you allow the battery to cool down a little bit towards the end, and it still has okay flat-ish charging curve. And another solution is to not hammer it too hard. Well, actually, no, I forget that. I take it back, because actually, even if you don't hammer too hard, it's not a leaf. So when I drove past Göteborg, you know, a city, I was driving slow-ish. The battery didn't cool down that much, and the longer you drive also doesn't cool down, not like a leaf, because a leaf, when you drive slower, it will cool down. It has passive cooling, and the longer you drive, the more time you give the battery time to cool down more and more. But here it just cools down to that 40 something degrees, and it just stays there. But actually, when you park the car, it will run the cooling while it's parked, and then it cools down the battery further. So I mean, what can they do to fix this? Well, BYD, they can pre-cool the battery. You know, why not pre-cool the battery to 30 degrees Celsius before you plug in, and then you will have perfect charging curve always. So that is a quite easy fix. I'm not sure what is the problem with the BYDs. I say BYDs because it applies to Atto 3, probably Tang, Han, probably also Dolphin, and I haven't tested that much, but I'm guessing also Seal U and then Seal. So it seems like the software could have been tuned better to prevent this. So I mean, it's possible. It's just that car manufacturers, they need to implement it, listen to the customers, or if they care. If they don't care, they want to save money on R&D, then don't do anything. And then most people, if you don't hammer too hard or don't use this in the conditions I try to use it in, which is not extreme, it was more like normal driving like I do with other cars. But okay, you might not run into these problems, or you might run into the problem but you don't notice it, yeah, because once it replicates, it doesn't go that bad. It's just okay, it's a little bit slower. You might lose 2 to 5 minutes on the charging session, but it's still okay-ish, yeah. But for example, Tesla, you know, as an example, I remember many years ago the Model 3 Performance. This was with Octovalve, so it scavenged heat from the battery during winter, but it scavenged a little bit too much heat, sucked too much heat from the battery, and it became too cold and at low state of charge. Yeah, this was the Panasonic battery. The Panasonic battery didn't like to be cold. It then reduced the power, so we went into limp mode at 10% state of charge something. Tesla identified that problem, maybe via my channel, because they actually watched my videos. So what did they do? They changed some of the logic so that it stopped scavenging the heat from the battery at I don't know, I think it was around 15-20 degrees, 15-20%, and then it put heat into the battery instead, just using some leftover heat from the motors or whatever it had, right, inverters or other components, and channel that into the battery to heat up the battery to around 25 degrees Celsius. Yeah, previously it would cool it down to one it was 10 degrees or shit like that. So just that little tweak with the software solved the problem for, well, let's go this way, I wasn't sure where to go. Solved the problem for Tesla. Yeah. And there was no limp on anymore. It was good performance all the way until 10%, 5%, right? And I believe that BYD could do the same thing here. They could fix this on all the BYDs, but I haven't seen any improvement. And it was a while ago when I tested the first, when I tested Atto 3, and actually even before that when I tested the Han and Tang. So I get the impression that BYD might not be that reactive to customers, unlike MG. MG, they listen to the customers. Customers complain about bing bong sounds and about auto steer and about other things. They fix that, you know. Even some customer complained about the HVAC control. There was a hotkey HVAC control or whatever, I don't remember, that was a bit clumsy to use. They made it way bigger, they made it better. Same with Xpeng and NIO. You know, I feel like many Chinese brands, they listen to the customers and improve. But then BYD might be in the same category as Hongxi, which is that they just make something and they just kind of leave it there. And then there are some minor improvements over the course of the update, but not that much. So just bear that in mind when you buy this car, that don't expect some crazy upgrade or software fix. So whatever the car is now, okay, just if you just have that expectation that it's going to be like this, then you will be happy. Yeah. But other than that, okay, I talk a lot now. It's still a nice car, but it's not as sporty as Tesla. But maybe that's a good thing, because it's comfortable, but still, I mean, good hand. Yeah, you see, okay, okay. So it's still a very nice car, comfortable. Price-wise, it stays in between a Model 3 long range and a Model 3 Performance. So it's not a cheap car. Just bear that in mind. But do I recommend it? Yeah, I mean, absolutely. I would even consider buying it. You know, this is crazy. Normally, I wouldn't consider buying a Chinese car, because I'm usually annoyed by the software, by the bing bong, by the bad auto steer that suddenly disengages without warning. But the fact that it has front seat ISOFIX would be great for family trip or just around town, because I can put Isabel here and I can put Axel in the back and put Wi-Fi in the back there, And that's better because when Axel needs something, Isabel can just, you know, and then if Isabel needs another bun or a cleavage waffle, I can just give it to her, right? Instead of, yeah. I mean, yes, I know you can put child seat on the regular seat also without Isofix, but I just like the convenience to just click it right in there, you know, instead of dicking around with belt and the strap and around the seat and hook it on the back of the seat and stuff like that. So yeah. So in a way, the Seal is actually that good that I consider a Chinese car. There are some Chinese cars I consider. Many of the Nios, I like them so much that I even consider, you know, if I would buy some car, I would consider Nio, and also and some BYD. So still, you know, very nice car, yeah, but with some shortcomings. So yeah, what does this mean, by the way? The rapid gate I was talking about, you know? Well, it means that in 1,000 kilometer challenge, this car did it in 10 hours and 30 minutes. A Model 3 long range of performance will do it in 9:15 only, like an hour faster. Yeah, okay, it was bad weather, bad-ish weather, wet when I drove that day, but yeah, also other cars like a BMW or something, you know, a Polestar, they will also do it in the low 10-hour-ish. So, but it's not a disaster. I mean, 10.5 hours is still very good. You can comfortably drive long trips from Oslo to Stockholm or Oslo to Copenhagen within a reasonable amount of time. Oh, this is a nice test. It shakes. Okay. Yeah, I should go on those, but I don't have a good routine when I talk. I just tend to talk a lot without doing actual driving test. Yeah, man. Bjørn, get a grip. Sharp day. Okay. See here? You see, it just, I like the nimbleness when you just drive around town, and that the fact that we have stalks, blinker stalks, and head-up display. So, but the one minus is, yeah, I let off the pedal. No, I have to push the brake pedal. So I would like to have stronger regen, but now we are down to 90%. So at 90%, I expect more regen, but let me see what do I have here. Yeah, it's like 19 kilowatt regen. That's way too weak. I want twice that much. Yeah, here we go over the cobblestone. Yeah, you see, it just slides over, glides over. So nice, comfy. So overall, I'm really impressed of this car. I actually like this car a lot, man. I enjoy driving it. Yeah, it's very good. It's probably the best BYD I tested when I think about this, because I'm not the SUV guy, so Seal U, sorry Mac, you know. And Han was just big, not practical. You couldn't fold the back seat, and it was bouncy. I like the Seal a lot better. If I would buy a sedan and I had to choose between Han and Seal, I'll go for Seal any day, man. I don't know what's up with this, but I don't know. I just like the Seal. And also, yeah, the Seal also charges faster. Yeah. So, man, there's a lot of things to like about this car, really. Oh, shit. Oh, man, it goes like a beast. Beast from the east, man. Yeah. Woo. Okay. Oh, see, regen. Come on, 52 kilowatt regen. Now we're cooking. 48 kilowatt regen, but I want 150 kilowatt regen, so I don't have to move my foot between the pedals too much. That's just a small complaint, but can you expect it to be updated? Most likely not. There might be a limitation in the LFP battery, so you cannot charge that fast at 90% at the given temperature, 20-25 degrees Celsius in battery. But overall, good car. I think I'm gonna pull out now and end the video. Let me just pull out here. Yeah, okay. Let's just go like this, and then stop here. So, okay. I forgot one more thing. Yeah, sound system. I mean, it sounds okay. Some people say, oh, but you have to use the equalizer to tune it, and then it'll sound better. Well, the equalizer is just an offset for you just tune it, but I want to listen in its flat and pure form, and then I hear that, okay, it lacks this, it lacks that. So it's not the best sound system, Dynaudio. Their Tesla is better, yeah, but since we are comparing, you know, yeah. Even Polestar 2, yeah. Polestar 2 is also a competitor. Polestar 2 is also better in that regard. But if I have to choose between Polestar 2 and Seal, I might actually go for Seal. I'm not sure why. Polestar just felt a bit cramped, you know. And here we have more space here and so on. So, but Polestar, of course, has better headlights. Yeah, it has better stereo. Yeah, I know it charges faster. Yeah, okay, but maybe life is not about charging fast or hammering at night all the time. Or if you have poor headlights, well, it's not bad. It's just that it's not that great. It's just in the middle here, the headlights. But if you need good headlights, just slap down some LED bar. Go to Bilkomponenter. It's Cleaver, just 5 minutes away from it. They will install a LED bar for you. You know, then boom, yeah. So yeah, but overall, I'm really impressed. I like this car a lot, man. I give it 2 thumbs up. Okay, it's not perfect, like I mentioned, but I still like it. Yeah, I like it a lot. I think I'm gonna end it there. So that's gonna be it for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, thank you for watching, and talk to you later.